welcome one, my name is Tawess and today we are painting a mech again. It is the first video of the new year. We are trying a new camera setup again because I managed to scavenge together a little bit of a different setup. We're gonna see if this makes any goddamn difference. I have no idea. The mech we're painting today is it's another adder. I was gonna paint the grasshopper. I had the video done and everything, and then I sent it over to the video editing software and the frame rate was murder. Anyway, as you saw, those are the paints we'll be doing today. And, well, there's not really much more to that. That's the story. We're going to paint this up in a wintry. Most of my clan mechs are painted wintry, so that's no big secret like that. They are from Clan Ghost Bear, and they all have this sort of greyish, bluish scheme. Because I got stuck on this idea that clans don't like individuality per se. So instead they go a bit more of uniform color scheme. They're military after all. So yeah, basically we're starting off with some grey and blue mixed together to create this sort of off blue denim-ish color. And the idea here is just to get a good solid base coat that is not grey, but it's not blue either. So a greyish denim color that felt like a good one for that one. Now, as I said, I had an entire video plan, recorded and everything. Everything looked good while recording, and for some odd reason, things didn't go the way it's supposed to go. It was a nice mech, and if you go over to my Instagram, link down in the description, you can see the mech. Oh, it was a nice Merrick one. Purple, white, gold, very fancy. But that was not to be, apparently. So, instead we are here now painting a angry little adder. Adda! Yes. So, one can ask them, what is the plan now going forward? Because this is a new year. Are we going to do anything major? Are there going to be any big changes? Not really. We're going to try to spice things up a bit with some terrain projects, and I'm going to try to keep up this 2 videos a month schedule for now, because I actually have work. And I mean, work is work. So that's going to be interesting. This paint job itself is not much to talk about, unfortunately. I was angry and uninspired when I did this. You should be painting when you're angry and uninspired, but at the same time I was in a mood I was like, I have to get a video out. So, terribly sorry about that. And it's still a nice paint job, I like it. It's fairly clean, but it's uninspired. Sorry about that. So yeah. We're gonna dig into, as I said, a terrain project, which is basically going to be starting off with recreating one game board from the game Zombicide, because those are nice, big, funky, thick game boards, but they're 2D, and there's a lot of stuff on them. Now I know it's not practical, because you need to pile a lot of zombies on, and 2 dimensions are limiting enough as it is. 3 dimensions make it even more limiting. Put actual designs inside these places, it's gonna be a complete mess. But I'm gonna do it anyway, mostly as a learning experience, because I never made this sort of that type of dioramas before. So it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna kick that off in February, because we still need to buy a few things, and well, money's ran out. Feel free to give me money if you want to. But money ran out. So that's a February problem. And, well, we are going to build a kill team. We have started recording a video now, actually. This is going to be a variant. A version of a Imperial Guardsman veteran Guardsman team. Based on Orlok from Necromunda. It's a fun project. Bit of kit bashing. Some creative licenses. It's gonna be a fun project. And of course, we're going to continue painting mechs. Hopefully, we're going to start seeing the force boxes show up in regular stores, so I can replenish my stock of mechs. That would be nice. I have a few of these boxes still need to pick up. The one with Jenner, for example. But again, that is a when it happens kind of thing. Because right now, I don't know when they're going to show up. We also have a slightly bigger scale mini diorama thing going on. That sounded interesting, but basically we're gonna scale up some big mix a bit bigger and then build large dioramas based on those to get around the fact that I said mechs are a weird scale. Very weird scale. It becomes very tiny when you do things in the tabletop scale. I think I say this every video, but it's my main hang up with the Battletech side of things. Everything is so goddamn tiny. Tiny! I mean, they make the smallest model train scale look like ginormous. So yeah, that's also a plan. That is also a plan. A plan we're gonna do. A plan of a future. So we're gonna get into that. That is also a springtime project. Maybe even a vacation project, because it's gonna be big. But it's a fun thing. Beyond that, there's not much else to do, is it? I mean, you have seen me painting before. You know, mostly what this is, how we do it. Now, if you are like me, considering what to do with your painted little mechs now that the plague and decided to not take a break, and we are moving into the whole plague plus regular influenzas and shit. I mean, there's not much you can do with them right now. They sit on my shelf. They collect dust. Dioramas, it's an idea. Small modular dioramas you can move around. Basically, little doll houses for your mechs. That's a project you should be starting up. It's not as difficult as it sounds. All you need is, well, milk cartons and glue to begin with. And preferably some piece of wood, but you could technically double stack cardboard with some regular Mod Podge or whatever water-based glue you have at home. Wood glue works well too, and if you don't have any water-soluble glue at home, you should go and get it because it's good stuff to have. Even if you don't make dioramas out of it, you should have it. Everyone should have it. That and the gaffer's tape. Everyone should have it. And super glue. And a drill, preferably. And a saw and a knife, and basically get a toolbox. If you don't have one already, you get the toolbox and some milk cartons. Build dioramas. It's surprisingly relaxing. I've been watching tutorials on YouTube this entire holiday. It's like I'm deep diving into this now. It's fascinating. And I know people have been building dioramas for like ages. As old ones laying around from my father used to have for his trains and stuff. I'm not sure if it was he who used to have it or someone he knew used to have it. I don't know. Do you know? Nobody knows. He probably knows. I'm not going to ask him now though. But yeah. In the paint process right now, you can see we are doing the shell. I love these for the kind of fact that they have Pumas, adders, Pumas. They have a shell. It's a thing. I mean, I don't know how good that is tactically and practically, but it's cute. And it gives you a lot of real estate to work on. Remember, I was painting one of these already, because I got one of these from the random boxes. So I have two of them. And that one was painted up as a turtle, as an actual turtle, green, brown shell, based on the fact that these not usually, but sometimes stand in for in the sphere mechs when they were practicing before the invasion. So it's like, this has been done that, so it gets with more spacey paint scheme. Because as I say, I'm so hard locked into this idea that I can't take too much liberties with the clan mechs. I don't know why. I don't know if you know why. I don't know why. Nobody knows why. But yeah, that's that anyway. This is basically just trying to paint this as quickly as possible, because as I say, I was not in a good mood when I was painting this, and it kind of tells, kind of shows. But I'm liking what I did with the camera. That seems working good. The light setup seems work good, and it's a bit hazy, and so I can increase the contrast a bit next time. But it's generally looking pretty good. There's a good amount of data there. Not something to scoff at. But yeah, that also I was talking about before Christmas. If you have watched the video, I was talking about making its custom marine, and it's still on the table. We are having a slight 3D printer malfunction right now. It is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. I think I need to change the FEP, the plastic film on the bottom of the resin tank, because it started to look like shit. And that means that things aren't printing the way they should. It's also scuffed, scraped, dinged, and at some places slightly warped, so I think it's time to get rid of it. But again, that costs money. And I need a better resin, that costs money. And everything costs money. It's a hobby. If it was free, it would be great, but it's not free. So it's one of these projects that have ended up on the back burner. We are going to get back to it, but not right now. Also, if someone is interested, we're going to try to do a video on cenital dry brushing. Because everyone is like, oh, cenital highlighting is the king. And I was like, I don't have an airbrush. They were like, you're so basic. And I was like, yes, I'm very basic. I don't have an airbrush. Nor do I like rattle cans. I know they exist. I know they're a thing. I don't like them. So, we're going to try and do this with a brush. I am very curious to see how that's going to turn out. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, we are going to... Well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, basically. So it's going to be an interesting trial. Interesting trial. A test, if you mind. Because I think there's become a way too strong reliance on mechanical tools. Like, I'm not kidding when I say I at one time had someone ask me if I was some sort of weirdo for actually applying a base coat with a brush. I was like, son, back in my day, when we walked to school, uphill, walked home from school, uphill, when we ate bark, and the only thing we could play with was little plastic figures and 2 rocks. Back in these days, nobody had an airbrush. If you're lucky, you had a rattle can. But if it was winter, you did it with a brush. Because that's the way that we did it. I'm not saying there wasn't airbrushes around, but you did not use them to paint miniatures. Trust me on that one. That was way too expensive. There's Pro Tools. So yeah, I should probably go through and have a video where I just like do everything with a brush. That would actually be a good way to motivate doing that. Trying to zenithal highlight with a brush. That would be like, can you do everything with a good set of brushes? That would of course mean I need a good set of brushes. You should see my brushes. They're you can see some of them here. They're not exactly top of the line. They're all synthetic brushes. I don't own a Collins scary. As I said, I'm basic. Anyway, that's also a fun idea. Dear Lord, I have no idea where we actually are in the video right now, because this is not live commentary. This is doing cuts and things. I think we are at the edge highlight stage. And it's a big I think. Anyway, if you want a in-depth tutorial on that, leave a like. I will do that. I probably will do that anyway. We are going to do a skin tutorial on how I paint skin. That's coming up too. There's a lot of things coming up right now. This is basically a kick off the year kind of video. A rambly one. It's a more vlog with some moving pictures in behind. Terribly sorry. I mean, not really sorry, but you know, it's a polite thing to say. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, people are like, no, you're not sorry. I was like, no, I'm not sorry. Are you sorry? I am sorry. No, you shouldn't be sorry. You shouldn't apologize for being you. You should take care to not be mean or an asshat, but you shouldn't apologize for being you, per se. Anyway, I think that we are... I shouldn't say we come up to an end because there's still a bit left, but this is a stage of paint where, like, hopefully I reach a point where, like, okay, I'm fairly happy with what this is. Now it's time to mess it up. And then you mess it up. But today we're at least keeping most of the paints away and not using metallics. I am not agreeing with the metallics from Armor Painter for some reason. They are overflowing. There's some capillary action there. Keeps pulling paint up into the cap. So when I unscrew it, I end up with gold or silver paint all over my fingers. You can see in the corner up there? Yeah, that is basically how my wiping off the greedy gold bottle when I was painting the other mech. It's a horrible mess. I don't know what to do with it. Do you know what to do with it? I don't know what to do with it. I mean, Jesus. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Anyway, that's about that. I do mean that's probably going to try and paint some zombicide figures too, because dear Lord, there are a few of them. And I do mean that there's a few of them, it's like 70 of them. That's quite a lot. There's a lot of zombie snapbox. A lot of zombies. And not slamming on Cool Mini or not, because this is an odd scale also. It's not heroic, it's not 20 millimeters, like 20 perhaps. It's not 25, not 28. It's an odd scale. But there ain't much detail in some places. On the bright side, it makes it quick to paint. You basically just go one skin tone, pick your tone of choice, come February, contrast paint, and just slap it on. It's not contrast paint, it's speed paint, but you know what I'm meaning. You know what I mean! I want that box. I'm gonna get the... I'm like, I shouldn't get the starter box, because I'm gonna get the full set later, but I want the starter box. I so want the starter box. But, you know. Oh, yeah. Also, trust me, this mech is not just grey. It actually looks a lot better in reality. But it looks a lot grey right now. A bit too grey, actually. I should really try and get some good battle reports. Should have battle reports. And this is mainly like trying about painting and stuff. So I don't think I'll put battle reports here, but I probably should. I don't know. Again, there's a lot of thinking going on here. I don't know. It's been a long year. 2021 was a long year. And I love the fact that we got where we got to. I hope we can continue to grow together. Our new goal is 200 subscribers. I will make a thing at that point. I'm not entirely sure what that thing will be. Maybe we'll 3D model some buildings, some scattered terrain. I don't know. We will see what we do. Something will be given away when we reach 200. Don't know what yet, but something. Time will tell. Actually, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. I make some scatter terrain, give it away for free to you people to 3D print on your own. Could perhaps even sell that. That'd be nice. Like, figure out how to make good models for tabletop Battletech scale. Like mech base and stuff like that. Maybe we can design some dropships. I mean, I can't do the real dropships because they're copyrighted, but I could design my own. Proxies, as they're called. I don't know. Who knows? At this point, I have literally no idea what I'm doing. But it's something. Edge highlighting, I think. Continue on the trend of edge highlighting stuff. And then we're gonna end up washing everything, because that is what I do. And at this point I was like, I just want to be done. Again, terribly sorry. It's not particularly professional of me, but I was like, I'm not gonna care about this. I'm just gonna get it done. Let's have it done, and let's have it out of here. Bye-bye. Which of course is a good way to start a new year. It's like, oh yes, this is gonna be a year we take things next step, and the first video is like, haha. You thought that, didn't you? You know it is. We shouldn't be afraid to fail. Sometimes failure is just another stepping stone. So yeah, that's that. Dear Lord, that cut was rough. Now, I wish I could get better camera angles, but right now, my camera is basically mounted on one of these phones. It's an iPhone, tethered to my computer through an app, using the camera as a webcam, held on one of these like car phone holders, dangling from a mic boom, from a mic stand. I have one axis of movement. I can rotate it sideways a little bit. I mean, it's not good. But it's what it is right now. And it's a lot better than the webcam I have, and it's a lot more mobile than the big camera. I'm not entirely sure that's actually the old. I have no DSLR camera, and I'm not entirely sure that one is actually better per se. It's really old. And it's from one of these odd in-between generations where there's not. I'm not entirely sure if the image quality is actually better per se. I don't know. I'm not gonna care to try either. Cause as I say, it's a nightmare to mount. But this is basically just. If I had a dipper, I would have dipped it, just shook it off. Like Taylor Swift used to say, shake it off. Because, I mean, there's no finessing in this. Now, I'm using a non-oil gloss rather than the dark shade. Because non-oil gloss is really gloss. It's high gloss. And that is the theme going through all my clan mix, that they have a high gloss finish to sort of give a sense that they are fresher, more maintained than the Innisphere mechs. I know, high concept, but it is what it is. Not much else to do about it. So yeah, usually I try to use a bit more finesse, but I was at this point rather tired. I'm also going to pick up some panel liner from Tamiya, because that thing is nice. I think that could be a good thing to have for these. I don't know. Again, we're going to try out different things this year. Try to elevate our mech game. Yeah. Speaking of elevating my mech game, this is something people have been asking about, some have been complaining about. I don't base my things. I just leave them black or grey or stained. So, we're going to start working with that too. And this is basically just wood glue, a dollop of color, in this case grey, and a paintbrush full of water to dilute it into a paste. An easy spreadable paste. Then we just slather that all over the base. You can't see that because I'm keeping the mech upright. And I forgot that the other actually has the big square body covering the base. But trust me, I am just painting it on like it was paint. And it's sticky and things. So I mean, that's all there is to it. We also get this, I think this is from, it's not Green Stuff World, it's some of the other ones, but it's basically a snowflock. It looks like sugar grains basically. I think it's some sort of stone. I don't know. You pour it on anyway, it gives a sort of snowy texture. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it. I think it's time for the glory shot, actually. And here it is. In all its... I'm tempted to say glory, but I'm not entirely sure that's the correct word. It has this nice sort of run-down feel. Because I say, these... I still like to play with the idea this is slightly more... It tends to stand in for Innisphere mech, so I'm like, oh, it's shit. The mech itself, not shit, it's a very good mech. But, you know, until next time, stay safe, be kind, and do play fair.